Good afternoon. My name is Sienna Wilber, and I'm an undergraduate student here at the University of South Carolina. And I was blessed with this opportunity throughout the whole semester to explore something that means so much to me personally, wrongful convictions. So, the case of Cameron Todd Willingham shocked Texas and the nation in the early 1990s when he was convicted of setting a fire that killed his 3 young children. In December 1991, a devastating fire tore through Willingham's home in Corsicana, Texas. His 1-year-old twins and his 2-year-old daughter tragically perished in the blaze. Willingham, who was 23 at the time, escaped the fire and claimed that he desperately tried to save his children, but was unsuccessful. However, authorities quickly turned their focus on him as a suspect of committing arson. The fire was initially thought to be deliberately set. An investigator who later became a key figure in the case concluded that the blaze was arson, citing burn patterns and other questionable indicators as evidence. This forensic testimony became a cornerstone of the prosecution's case, leading to Willingham's arrest. Despite Willingham's pleas of innocence, the jury convicted him in 1992. His defense attorneys failed to challenge the shaky forensic evidence adequately, and the trial proceeded with the assumption that Willingham had intentionally set the fire. Todd Willingham was wrongfully executed on the basis of invalid forensic evidence and prosecutorial misconduct. The prosecutor painted Mr. Willingham as someone with a dark personality, referencing an Iron Maiden band poster that had hung in his house saying it displayed violence and death. Additionally, a prosecutor in the case said that Willingham's tattoo of a skull and serpent fit the profile of a sociopath. Unfortunately, this case is not unique. Between 3 and 6% of people that are serving time in prison are wrongfully convicted. To put things into perspective, since 1989, 27,000 years collectively have been wrongfully served. While the law has its flaws, the real problem lies within the legal system and the individuals that are representing the law. It is said that justice is blind, yet for many who have been wrongfully convicted, it seems that justice has turned its back. Behind the thick walls and iron bars of our prison system, innocent men and women fight for their freedom, often with little more than sheer willpower, in the hope that one day the truth will prevail. For those incarcerated for crimes they did not commit, the journey to exoneration is a lonely battle. The legal system, meant to serve justice, can instead become a fortress of despair when it fails. Prosecutorial misconduct, ineffective defense, and hidden evidence are just a few of the many factors that contribute to wrongful convictions. Yet in the midst of this injustice, there are many stories of resilience and individuals who refuse to accept a fate that was unjustly decided for them. Prison is not just a place of confinement, but a place that leaves lasting scars. The mental and emotional toll of incarceration can be life-threatening. For the wrongfully convicted, every day behind bars is a reminder of how their life was unjustly stolen. When I spoke with Kareem, who is also here today, and shared his story of being wrongfully convicted, he described how prison shrunk him and made him feel less than he ever was. The isolation, the fear, and the constant fight to simply survive left him with PTSD, a condition that still haunts him long after serving his sentence. But how does this happen? What goes so wrong in our justice system that innocent people are forced to suffer behind bars? The answer lies not within the law itself, but in those who enforce and interpret it. The law is meant to serve as a guiding force of fairness and truth, yet corruption, negligence, and hidden agendas can turn it into a weapon. Prosecutors withholding evidence, ineffective defense attorneys, without the resources or information to fight properly, and a system that prioritizes convictions over justice are all to blame. The prison system itself does little to correct these errors. Once a person is inside, the prison's role is simply just to house them. The real issue lies within the Attorney General's, public defender's, and solicitor's office that fail to uphold the integrity of justice. Change does not start in the prison yard, it starts in the courtroom. Those wrongfully convicted must often take matters into their own hands, learning their constitutional rights and fighting their own cases because the system that built to protect them has already failed them. Yet despite the trauma and injustice, hope remains. It remains in the mother who never gives up and continues to fight for her child's innocence. It remains in the relentless pursuit of truth by those who refuse to be silenced. And it remains in the growing awareness that wrongful convictions are a glaring flaw in a system that demands reform. Prison should not be a place of suffering, but rehabilitation. Yet in its current state, it often creates more harm than good. Prisons are overcrowded, unsanitary, and filled with violence, turning punishment into a cycle of suffering rather than rehabilitation. Inmates are often subjected to inhumane conditions, including solitary confinement, poor medical care, and psychological abuse, stripping them of their dignity. Instead of fostering change, prisons dehumanize individuals and trap them into a broken system that offers little hope for a better future. People leave prison worse than when they entered, forced to commit crimes just to survive behind bars. Corruption is growing as institutions profit off criminal activity, prioritizing money over humanity. True justice means more than simply sentencing the guilty. It means protecting the innocent. It means ensuring that every person accused of a crime has the right to a fair trial, competent legal representation, and access to all evidence that can impact their case. It means demanding accountability for those in power and refusing to look away from the stories of the wrongfully convicted simply because they make us uncomfortable. The law is a living, breathing document meant to serve the people, but it is only as just as those who uphold it. The stories of wrongful convictions must not remain in the shadows. They must be told, heard, and acted upon. Because behind every wrongful conviction is not just an individual, it is a family, a mother's pain, and a community's loss. True justice must prevail, because without it, any one of us in this room could become a part of the devastating 3 and 6% of those who are wrongfully convicted, stripped away of their freedom, and forced to pay for a crime that they never committed. Thank you.
For the